But Leo, they tried doing what you said in the USSR, in the Soviet Union, in North Korea, in Venezuela, and other parts of the world with communism, and it failed. So what you've tried here has been disproven and debunked, or what you're advocating here has been disproven and debunked. Actually, that's not the case. What was tried in the Soviet Union, North Korea, and Venezuela, all of these countries were grossly underdeveloped, extremely corrupt, stage orange, or rather stage red, spiral dynamic stage red, and stage blue at best. The things that I'm suggesting here are not possible in a stage red or stage blue society. It doesn't have enough consciousness, doesn't have enough development, and it's too corrupt. It's too selfish for these kinds of policies to work. These kinds of policies can only be implemented in a post-orange society, a post-capitalist society. That doesn't mean we completely eradicate capitalism, but it means we have to go through capitalism, exhaust capitalism to its limits, realize and become conscious of the limits of capitalism, of how capitalism eats itself, and then move towards something beyond that. That's what I'm talking about. So many of these ideas here that I'm talking about will not work, for example, in the Middle East, because the Middle East is not yet evolved to stage orange. But many of these ideas will work in Europe, especially Northern Europe, and in America, because we are already at orange and we are pushing past. We're ready to move past. So I'm talking about the next stage of evolution for some of the most developed countries in the world. African countries, it's still too early for them to implement all the stuff that I say here, although it does show you a little bit of an idea of where you're headed. It's just that it's going to take you longer, and you need to go back and focus on building basic infrastructure, a basic court system, uncorrupted police system, firefighters, roads, highways, trains, airports, infrastructure. You need to build that stuff, build businesses and entrepreneurship, and universities, and get good at science rather than theology. Have a decent constitution in your government, get rid of gangs and violence and mafias and cartels. Deal with all that, then you'll be at stage orange, capitalism, and then you'll be able to evolve beyond that once you realize the limitations of capitalism. So the stuff I'm saying here has not been tried in the Soviet Union or North Korea or Venezuela, but it has been tried in Northern Europe, in the Scandinavian countries. It has been tried in Canada. It has also been tried in certain progressive cities and states in America, like in California, in Washington, in New York. And it's worked there. It's not an accident that Washington State, New York State, and the California State are some of the wealthiest states in the country. California thinks like the 5th largest economy in the world, just the state of California. Rather successful. And a lot of people want to move there and live there. It's not an accident, because they have more progressive governments. People want to live that way. The benefits are very clear and very proven. So don't go confusing this with Venezuela and North Korea. That's very silly. Also, the style of government there is totally different. The Soviet Union, North Korea, and Venezuela, many of these were totalitarian dictatorships, really, run by dictators. They were not democracies. What I'm talking about here is a democracy. Before you implement the stuff that I said here, you need a working democracy first, which we already have in America. It's got problems. It's got corruption and stuff, but we got a democracy here. So we got to go to the next level.